What's going on, YouTube? The Jimmy Chaga here, and let's just say Phil Spencer walked his butt on the stage, flexing, saying, hey, we know what gamers want. The Summer's Game Fest couldn't do it. The Future Game Fest couldn't do it. Why does everybody have to shove copious amounts of ads down our throat? Just ad after ad after ad. You want some more ad? How about Pure Life? Get your drink on. No, we got games, baby, and that is all we got. Every now and then we would have somebody, set up the next game by coming out on the stage and saying a little 1-minute blurb, or, coming out after a game was shown and, saying a 1-minute blurb. But it was not more than a minute or two of stage time, and it was always about the game or setting up the next game. It wasn't trying to sell us something. And wow, coming from a PC gamer that does not have any skin in the game, thank you, Xbox, for giving us a refreshing game conference that actually happened to be a great game conference that has me excited for the future. And that is why I am deviating from my normal video, and I am spreading my wings, and I am gonna start to fly here on this channel. Welcome. I'm the Jimmy Changa. I hope that you are as excited as I am for the future of gaming. And here we have Bethesda Game Studios Maryland's biggest DLC, biggest patch yet, for Starfield Shattered Space. Now, this DLC aims to fully flush out House Faroon, the one faction of the game that really didn't get much attention. You would have run-ins with them, but outside of the little backstory and lore that you get from Andreja and the main quest or side quest or two that you run into the House Faroon with, there's nothing. So this is arguably the biggest thing that fans wanted to see in the next DLC, and Bethesda seems to be delivering it. Now, in my eyes, which this is all speculation, of course, this seems to take us to a planet dedicated specifically for this DLC and or House Faroon. Maybe it's a system. If you visited Serpentis, which is arguably the system in the settled systems that you would think would be tied to House Faroon, there's not a whole heck of a lot going on there other than some ship attacks that you get from that faction. You'll get jumped repeatedly if you go to Serpentis by House Faroon Zealots. But as you know in the story, the Zealots are not House Faroon. They still believe in the Serpent God, but they deviated from House Faroon, and the real House Faroon went into hiding. Now, I do want to make a dedicated video for Shattered Space, a more in-depth breakdown for my audience, but as you can see, this could be potentially pretty crazy. I mean, you see these pods in the background there housing, potential humans. You've seen a lot of wacky stuff. There was the Unity flashed there. I mean, a lot of this might, tie in our Starborn powers and, where all that comes from and what Unity is. And as you can see also, tonight, they are expanding on the Trackers Alliance and adding bounty hunting to the game. So tonight you can download the new update for Starfield and get a more flushed out Trackers Alliance and potentially go hunt some bounties and get some cash. And then tonight, not only do you have the bounty hunting, but Creation Kit finally drops in this update tonight for Starfield. That is huge. And then next up we have Doom Dark Ages. Now, right off the bat, there is a shield introduced to the Doom Slayer, and this shield does seem to be tied into the story one way or another. It also seems to add a lot to the combat. So if you played a Doom game 2016 or Eternal, I'm sure you can think of a use or two case scenario where you could have used a shield, and This shield also seems to have different abilities outside of just outside of blocking bullets. So I'm sure the shield is upgradable, and I know I'm talking a lot about said shield, but the trailer emphasis and highlight was essentially on this shield itself. All the gameplay kind of surrounded around it, but there were different aspects, like you see that Spartan kick. Combat seems to have evolved yet again. So from 2016 to Eternal, combat was evolved, and now Eternal to Dark Ages, it seems to be evolved once again. Doom Dark Ages coming in 2025. No official release date. And then next up, we get our first real look at the Initiative and Crystal Dynamics Perfect Dark. Now, this game has been rumored to be in developmental hell for the last 3 years since the title trailer. We've seen nothing, we've heard nothing from this studio, but today we got an in-depth look at actual gameplay for this game. And I just got to say right off the bat that wow, I'm impressed. I'm relieved all at the same time. The game looks genuinely fun to play. You know, it seems to take a lot from A, the pedigree of Perfect Dark, but B, some other games. Like, there's some Watch Dogs in here. There is some Dying Light and Mirror's Edge parkour in here. You know, I got no complaints from what I'm seeing outside of a frame drop here and there, which, you know, the game is slated for 2025. There is plenty of time for polish. You know, it looks to be running sub 30 to 40 FPS at times, and then a solid, rock solid 60 at other times. So we'll see. We will see what the future holds for this game performance wise, but I do have faith that they can get it all ironed out. You know, the visuals do look good, but they're not so photorealistic that a 60 FPS mode on console is just a pipe dream. It seems very reasonable to me. But as you can see in the background, you know, this genuinely looks like a worthwhile successor slash reboot for the Perfect Dark series that has been on ice for decades at this point. And then thank you, Xbox, for reviving a franchise that has been on ice for so long and giving Xbox some worthwhile exclusives that it desperately needs at this point. So here, Perfect Dark, slated for 2025. And then here we have a game called Atomfall from Rebellion Studios, a studio that I don't really know anything about, and a game that I've never heard of up until today. I don't know if this was the first time they ever showed it off, but I gotta say, I'm pretty intrigued. Like, this has sparked my curiosity. It's kind of got like this Atomic Heart slash Metro slash Fallout feel. Like, I don't know. I really don't even know how to describe it. It's got this World War II aesthetic. When I say aesthetic, I mean weapons. Like, these guys are carrying around M1 Grons. We got fucking revolvers, bows and arrows, some tribalistic aspects. There's castles in the background, so we're pulling from medieval. It's just a wacky game that's pulling from a whole heck of a lot of influences. We got glowing goals, we got mechs, we got robots, you know, Sten SMGs. I mean, what am I looking at? I have no idea, but I am interested. Atomfall coming out sometime in 2025. Sign me up. Hopefully we can hear more about this game in the future. And then next up, we get a pretty good look at Stalker 2. You know, Stalker 2 is slated for release later this year, September 5th. So, I mean, it's right around the corner in all respects. Considering how long we've been waiting for a true successor to this game, outside of the trilogy, which was never really... The Clear Sky was a prequel, and Call of Pripyat was kind of like a spin-off. So Stalker 2 being the true successor of Shadow of Chernobyl, man, I am excited. As a true Stalker fan, somebody who loves this series, my oh my, does it just feel good to actually see that the developers fully flushed these areas out, something that they probably had in their vision, original vision for this game, but was always limited due to technology. Well, now that they ditched the X-ray engine and they're on UE5, man, seeing Rostov just flushed out. Oh my gosh. I mean, you can probably hear it in my voice. I am excited. Do yourself a favor if you have never played the original trilogy for this series. Go out and pick it up on console. A couple months ago, they finally put it on console after all this time. Stalker 2 slated for September 5th. Play the trilogy and look forward to the sequel. I promise this is an excellent game worth your time. Next up, we get our first real look at South of Midnight outside of the initial teaser trailer that we got a couple years back. We haven't really heard anything of this game since. Now, right off the bat, I do want to point out the game definitely has frame rate issues. I'm not sure if the cutscenes are an artistic decision. The gameplay seems to want to be 60 FPS at times, but at times it's like 30 to 40 subpar. But outside of that, which they have plenty of room to polish, it's a 2025 release, no concrete date. Please get that sorted out, because for otherwise, the game has me intrigued. I love Compulsion Games. I absolutely adore that studio. This seems like a fun, unique take on an action-adventure style game that seems to pull kind of a Souls-like combat style, but also not as punishing. So it's like a mashup from Souls-like to like Assassin's Creed type gameplay. I don't know. And then also, as you defeat these creatures, whatever you want to call them, it seems to cure the area that's around her and where you fight this mini boss or boss. So, I mean, it's a very unique game, I guess. I mean, there's really no other way to put that. I mean, and you'll see that she tries to avoid the water. So, I mean, you got that southern swamp style atmosphere where the water is toxic. She's got this shield wing that she uses to like catch wind currents. I mean, the world in general is just, it's fresh, it's unique. I like the southern take. I like the, you know, broken down toxicity of, you know, the environment. It definitely has me intrigued. I am interested in this game 1000%. Compulsion Games has a great track record, but please figure out the cutscenes, or at least let us know, hey, you know, this is an artistic I mean, I don't even know if I'd be alright with them just saying, hey, it's a artistic decision, because damn, are they jarring. I love that it's seamless from gameplay to cutscenes, but man, are those cutscenes like, whew. South of Midnight 2025, Compulsion Games, Xbox exclusive, and on Steam. Looking forward to hearing more. Next up, we have a game called Expedition 33. I think I remember something about this game, like a teaser trailer, like just a title trailer at some point. I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. But for me, this is the first real look I've ever seen of this game. And at first, I really didn't know what to think with like the initial CG look. But then they started going into actual gameplay and showing all these different varied environments. They showed like group combat. They showed boss fights. Like, the atmosphere just looks incredible. Some of the environments look absolutely breathtaking. I mean, the world itself has me intrigued. The combat was something I absolutely was not expecting whatsoever. I don't know if it's like turn-based. It looks turn-based at times, but then at other times it looks Souls-esque. It definitely seems like a fun game to play. And ultimately, at the end of the day, as gamers, that's what we want. Front and foremost, is the game fun to play? And then secondly, is the world and lore and story intriguing, and I think that this game, just from this look, encapsulates all of that. So if they can pull all of this off for a smaller studio, I mean, bravo. Expedition 33, can't wait to see more. Next up, we got another look at Fable. Unfortunately, it was a shorter trailer. Once again, it wasn't deep whatsoever. Not much gameplay. The gameplay that they did show off was very short, very controlled. It seemed like it was definitely thought out, planned, exactly what snippets, where to go. Um, I'm still not sold on this game. I loved the original Fable. But let's be honest, it's been decades since we've got a Fable game. Playground Games is trying to bring it into the modern age here, the modern age of gaming. Um, the environments look fantastic. Like, I love the fantasy esque aesthetic that they're going with Fable and what Fable is. I think it looks gorgeous at times. But the gameplay, man, where is the gameplay after all this time? For a game that's coming out in 2025, we still haven't seen anything. And to be honest with you, I still don't know anything. They haven't did a very good job at explaining exactly what this is and where they're going with it. Um, you know, we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a developer that makes racing games. Playground Games are they're the developers of Forza Horizon. So, I mean, them going into an RPG, like a fantasy RPG, there's a lot to be lot to be proven yet, and unfortunately, we have not seen much. Hopefully, this fall, it's in the developer direct. We'll see. Fable 2025. Looking forward to seeing more. And then here we just have a little snippet of Black Ops 6 gameplay reveal, which isn't really a gameplay reveal. It's a bad title on the video. But whatever. They did a direct after the showcase. If you're interested in Call of Duty, if you want to see more of Black Ops 6, go ahead and watch that because they broke the hell out of this game down. Like, the movement has changed. They're bringing prestige back. The campaign itself is open-ended for once, so there's choices to be made. You can manipulate, you can barter, you can bribe. I mean, you can just shoot them. I mean, there's just a lot that they're bringing to the Call of Duty franchise for the first time. Thank you, Treyarch, for finally bringing some spice into this freaking franchise that has been dormant and just been the exact same damn game, Madden style, for the last 10 years. So, Black Ops 6, do yourself a favor if you're a Call of Duty fan and go watch that Call of Duty Direct because for a game that I really didn't give a shit about, I'm actually genuinely excited for this game and the campaign. Hopefully the multiplayer pans out, man, because we need a multiplayer shooter. X Defiant finally forced their hand and gave them competition. Let's see if Activision forces Treyarch to punch back. Next up, we got Indiana Jones, slated for a 2024 release. If I was a betting man, I would say sometime this fall. They did not give us a concrete date, but I would say it's pretty safe to assume later this year. And the trailer didn't really add much more to the game in terms of gameplay as we seen last year. And in fact, there was actually more gameplay snippets in last year's initial showing of Indiana Jones. But if you are interested in this game, do yourself a favor and go out and watch this trailer in its entirety because it really does encapsulate what Machines Games' vision, and Todd Howard, who is the director of this game, who actually happens to be a huge Indiana Jones fan. It really showcases where they're going with this game and what the overall vibe is with the, I guess you could say, movie-esque scene that is showcased in this trailer. At the end, they do show some gameplay, and the gameplay just looks raw. It looks up close. It looks moment to moment. It just reminds me of a movie, which is awesome. It's great. It's what Indiana Jones is at heart. So we got Indiana Jones coming out in 2024. Go out and watch the trailer. 404 Games, Flintlock, Siege of Dawn. A game that's actually coming right around the corner. Now, right off the bat, it reminds me of Forspoken. Just the gameplay elements, the powers that this girl has, kind of like the environment, the atmosphere, gives me Forspoken vibes. Now, I played Forspoken. I wasn't a huge fan of it. The story kind of killed the game for me. The protagonist was just annoying, in my opinion. This could be what Forspoken could have been. But already, right off the bat, the gameplay elements look more robust than what we had in Forspoken. You know, you have the colonial weapons in this game, which is a really unique take. You have the melee combat in this game. You have the the psychic abilities in this game. I mean, it truly is a mashup of different combat elements all into one game in a enticing atmosphere. But I mean, let's see if they can pull this together. If the story is good and the gameplay looks as fun as it does in this trailer, I'm on board. And then this game is coming right around the corner. We have a July release date here, July 18th of 2024, Flintlock Siege of Dawn. Next up, we have Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Now, this is a game that I was initially not going to put on this list, and not because it's not a good game. Like, this is an incredible game. Flight Simulator by Microsoft has always been the absolute pinnacle staple of the flight sim community. And this game seems to just give us more of that. Give the core crowd, the core flight sim crowd, more of what they love. The mind-blowingly photorealistic visuals, the mind-blowingly realistic flight simulator controls. Hook your flight sim stick up and just fly. But what I seen that I think a lot of other people didn't see, because I certainly don't hear anybody talking about it, is it seems like they're trying to bring a more Forza Horizon approach to the Flight Simulator series. And if that's something that they can pull off, I think that this game is going to have a lot more staying power in the mainstream than we have ever seen any flight simulator coming previously. If they can take the Forza Horizon formula that Horizon adopted with driving and implant it into flight, I mean, let's just be honest. That is a recipe for something that could be really, really enticing for a lot of people and really fun at the end of the day. But while still offering that realistic flight sim core game at its core forefront. November 19th, 2024, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Get your flight sticks out. So here we have Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This is actually a game that I forgot all about until seeing it in today's showcase. Like, it totally slipped my mind. Still, they haven't really shown that much for a game that's been in development for a while. It's coming in 2025, no concrete date, but really only seen some small snippets of gameplay. I love the aesthetic. I think the aesthetic is awesome. It's like this gothic type samurai aesthetic. The gameplay that they did show seems fast, it seems fluid, it seems fun. The variety in the people that you fight, I like the aesthetic of them. I like the move sets. I mean, it seems like it could be a very fun game to play, but unfortunately, just don't know a whole hell of a lot about it right now. Wuchang Fallen Feathers coming in 2025. Hopefully, it's something that we see more of here in the future. Now, this is a game I've been looking forward to as a huge Obsidian fan. You know, we all got a soft spot for Fallout New Vegas, let's be honest. I thought the Outer Worlds was a great game. Pillars of Eternity is one of my favorite isometric RPGs, and I'm excited to see their take on bringing Pillars into this first-person perspective. You know, to me, the aesthetic is exactly what I wanted in a Pillars game, in a Pillars spin-off, I guess you could say. And it seems like every time they put out a trailer, the gameplay seems to get better. So it seems like they're taking the feedback and they're running with it, which is excellent. It's excellent to see. You know, Obsidian is a trusted studio for a reason, and one of people's biggest gripes was not being third person. Look at this snippet. Is that confirmed? Do we have first to third person switching back and forth? Huh? Well, I guess we'll see. Says choose your side, so choice and consequence. Obsidian's known for that. All in all, Avowed looks like a great time. It's coming later this year. I'm really excited to see what Obsidian does with their next big release. Avowed, fall of 2024. Let's kick some ass. And then last but certainly not least, we got Marcus absolutely slaying heads in his young self. Now, if you've played this franchise, you know with Marcus being young like this, I mean, how he looks like a baby. This has to be a prequel. So they're finally going to tie this whole franchise together, show us where it all began. Brotherhood back. I mean, this is Gears of War, man. This is what Gears of War is all about. Brotherhood. Let's see where it all began. The environment looks incredible. I mean, could this mean that this is an open world Gears of War game? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But damn, did Xbox come out swinging today. Gears of War 6 coming out 2025 E-Day.